What's up? Travel Chronicles. I believe we're on chapter 27 or 8. Figure out. It's in the title. I'll have it worked out by then. Big news. Notice anything? That's right. Corona hair is gone. Mostly. Still left a little long on top. What Dina wanted. She said, "Oh, leave the top long." I told her, I was like, "Can we leave the top long?" And then I get home, she's like, "Oh, that's too short." I was like, "Gee, I gotta get it out of my eyes." So that's the big thing from yesterday. Other stuff going on. The corona cases going up. Death rate's still going down. That doesn't mean that hospitalizations aren't up, that there's not going to be like a lag, but the way the series goes, at least in the United States, weekends are kind of underreported, even through Monday, and then usually you get like a big number on Tuesday, and this Tuesday was like the lowest Tuesday number since March. So to me, that's encouraging from that standpoint, because even if people are testing positive, even if people have it, if it's not debilitating, and it's something that people can recover from, then, there's a chance that we don't need to lock everything down. And since cases are kind of exploding, like, maybe you just treat it like the flu and you develop your vaccine. People who want the vaccine get the shot so that they don't get it, even though sometimes you still do get it. So, it was a different strain of the flu, so yeah, that thing didn't work. And that's what they were saying this year, this winter. It's like, it was a different strain, that's why the flu shot didn't work. Well, yeah, it was a different strain. It was coronavirus. That's why it was a different strain. Because most people have already had this. So, is it pointless? Is it fear-mongering? I think it's the extreme of fear-mongering in that, we don't know what it is. And if you don't assume the worst-case scenario, then things could get really bad. And, that would be really bad for a lot of people, especially if the federal government is the one saying, "Oh, no, you're fine, you're fine, you're fine." And it's like, "Oh, no, look, like 2 million people died." So I think they've done the right thing with the precautions. I think they kind of know that this is not near as bad as, I think it is bad for some people. I think, like they said, that, people who have the underlying conditions, people, older people, I think it could very well be the end. It's like a, super flu for them, and it's a bad flu for younger people, something in January that knocked me down, and I would say that was it. We'll never get confirmation of that, but it's the, it's the same thing. If we can make it through, then, let's just go back to living. But I don't think they're going to make that call. They're definitely not going to make that call before the election. And then you're going to have politics just running rampant at the end of the year with, here's your two scenarios, right? One, Trump wins. So then after he wins the election, he can't come out and just denounce the pandemic, because then it'll be like, well, you just did all this to get people riled up so you could win the election, even though I think this actually hurts him. If anything, he wants to have this over and done with and handled before the election. If that happens, then, then he can take credit for it. People go, well, you know what, they did handle it. 130,000 people have died. I think if China was honest their numbers are probably far higher than, where did they get to? I think they had 80,000 cases and 3,000 deaths or something. And it's like, I don't think that's quite true. And it's unfortunate because people die, and you should at least honor what happened, or, help try to prevent somebody else from having the same fate by being honest. It's a little ridiculous. That's the communist mindset. That's what's dangerous about it. It's because they're worried about protecting the homeland. Take a look around. You think that tree cares about you? You think that rock cares about you? You think that the ground cares? No. It's about people. It's about taking care of people. That's what communism was supposed to be. It was a commune of people. They're all working together towards the same thing. And if you're lying to each other, guess what? That ain't much of a commune. So, you just dump the facade. It's not a... Communism isn't communism anyway. It's a dictatorship ruling over people. People told they're in communism. Congratulations, you have no say. Even though communism is supposed to be almost essentially like a democracy, everybody has a say, but they don't work that way, right? Everybody's just supposed to head down, mouth shut, work for the greater good. Who decides what the greater good is? One person, right? Oh well. I don't really want to talk about communism, but sometimes I go off on tangents. I was thinking about something else earlier. I forget what it was now. This isn't what I was thinking of, but the next 2 weeks are going to suck at work. Just heads up. Next 2 weeks where the Travel Chronicles could be rough. And my demeanor could change drastically. Although I do have a haircut. Basically, we still haven't filled the production manager position. Maintenance manager quit. HSE manager quit. The person who was plant manager got fired, so the production manager took the plant manager job. That's why we don't have a production manager. They were also doing the quality job. So right now, the production manager / site manager, whatever you want to call her, is taking 2 weeks off. She's going to be off for the next 2 weeks. We haven't filled either of the two open positions. The one position's been open for 4 months now, officially. Once we fired the site manager, there was an opening at the plant, so 4.5 months. We know we needed to fill this position, and then you had a maintenance manager quit and a safety manager quit since then, and I don't get it. And now apparently we're in a good enough position, even though we haven't filled anything, to take 2 weeks off. So I will be there with the shipping manager as the only two salary people on site for the next 2 weeks. Should be pretty awesome. Usually that's when stuff goes wrong. And here's the funny thing, right? So the director of our division came in, and I don't think he fully agreed with the vice president's decision to fire our site manager / regional manager, whatever position he was in. I don't think he agreed with it, which it was the wrong decision. I'm going to flat out tell you that was a horrible decision. And I don't think he agreed with it, but the way that he disagreed with it is that, well, we need to make an example out of the plant. And I'm not sure exactly what that means, but what I think it means is that you guys are going to have to do a lot more work for a while, and until we figure this out. That'll prove a point. I'm not sure what the point is. What point are we proving by us still trying to do everything with 2 people or 3 people that it took 6 people for before? It makes 0 sense. And if he was trying, here's the thing: if you're trying to prove a point, usually you let things go until your point's proven. If the point is that, that plant can't operate like that, then we will run to a point where we can't operate, right? Where we massively miss something, drop the ball, have a huge quality problem, whatever we want to point to and say, there it is, I told you. That's where we're going to get to. And eventually, with only 3 people at the plant, yeah, you're going to get to that point. Like, now, it may be, it happens a week after you fire somebody, it's like, oh, that person was pretty critical. Maybe we should have kept that person, right? If it happens in a couple of months, maybe a year, but people are going to struggle. And there's just so much. There's just so many little tasks that people have to take care of, think about. And it's like, yeah, eventually we're going to forget something. We're going to drop the ball on something. If that's what we're waiting for, that's terrible. Because you're just waiting to prove a point until someone fails, instead of alleviating the failure. Like, if you're a good leader, when failure's coming, and when problems are coming, and a good leader will head the problems off. And we're not doing that right now. We're just waiting until the problem comes up so we can go, ha, told you, and then fix the problem. I don't know, maybe there's some brilliant solution afterwards, right? The only way they get fixed was for you to suffer horribly for a while. But you hung in there longer than we thought you would, and we're going to line our pockets while you're working really hard and saving the company tons of money by not having people actually work there. But over the next 2 weeks, it'll be even less people. Less support. It'll be pretty awesome. I don't think I could make that decision. Like, in 2 weeks, to be off for 2 weeks when you're down, 2 people, 3 people, and to say I'm going to remove myself of my own volition for 2 weeks, and it's just mind-numbing. I would not make that decision. Like, I would, if we're going to suffer, we're going to suffer together. I wouldn't be there. I'll put it that way. But if that's not how we're going to operate, then I'll take 2 weeks. But I can't, because Mom, who called me at 4:50 in the morning the other day wanting her purse. Why? You can't do anything with your purse where you're at. You can't spend any money. The only thing that can happen is somebody can come in there and steal your checkbook or take your credit card numbers and then just drain you. So, but I can't explain that to her. She wants her purse to go through papers. It's mind-numbing. All right. Well, stay COVID-free. Get a haircut if you haven't got one. See you later.